Welcome to the 11th Annual Do Good Challenge. I'm Bob Grimm, and it's my pleasure to be the director of the Do Good Institute. And we're excited to be here at Riggs at one of the original sites for the Do Good Challenge as we embark on the second decade of the Do Good Challenge and our Do Good campus. And it is also my great pleasure to welcome to the stage our wonderful leader who has asked all of us to unite and do good by reimagining learning and putting the University of Maryland at the forefront of tackling the grand challenges of our time. Please welcome to the stage, President Pines.
Hey, how you doing? You ready for a Do Good Challenge? All right. So let's give Bob Grimm a round of applause for his leadership of Do Good. Thank you, Bob, and all that you do. Welcome, everyone, to the 2023 Do Good Challenge, put on by the School of Public Policy. How about a round of applause for the School of Public Policy, huh? Outstanding. You know, for as long as I've been at the University of Maryland, which is a long time, I've almost been here 30 years, I have always enjoyed the passion, dedication, creativity that is on display in student competitions. And tonight is one of our best and most meaningful competitions. That's because since our founding in 1856, the mission of the University of Maryland has been to serve humanity and impact the public good. Our goal remains empowering the next generation of leaders, artists, writers, educators, scientists, and global citizens to develop creative solutions to the grand challenges of our time. And that work has never been more critical than today. From protecting global supply chains and food chains, energy and water, to ending educational disparities and fixing social and racial inequities, we are facing unprecedented challenges. There are also, however, opportunities. This is the time to take them on together and meet them in bold, innovative, and collaborative ways. In every corner of our campus, you can find students, staff, and faculty from all backgrounds making a difference. Each of them is living out our core truth, that our individual well-being is enduringly bound to our collective well-being. Our Do Good campus is one to make sure that we continue to inspire students to turn their ideas into action and make impact in communities both near and far to College Park. So I'm excited to see all of the great work being done. Together, this is how we can move our state, our nation, our world forward. So let's all go forward and let's do good. Thank you. Go Terps.
All right, how about another round of applause for President Pines? Woo! And I want to thank everyone here who has been for attending, for partnering, for collaborating with Do Good. And I want to just take a moment to particularly thank a few groups that have made the Do Good Challenge possible. And I want to start by thanking the company that has been the lead sponsor of the Do Good Challenge for over a decade. Let's have a round of applause for Morgan Stanley Private Wealth Management. And we've also been very fortunate to develop a transformative partnership and a very close and invaluable friendship with the Rothschild Foundations. And I want to thank them for their support of the Do Good Institute and programs like the Do Good Challenge. And we've also had a sponsor who has been producing exquisite photos of every Do Good Challenge since the first one in 2012. How about a round of applause for Freed Photography? Woo! And I also want to thank Provost Rice and Dean Orr for their incredible support of our Do Good efforts. How about a round of applause for both of them? During this last school year, we moved into a new home, and recently we had the great honor of having it named the Thurgood Marshall Hall. Inside Thurgood Marshall Hall, we launched a Change the World exhibit, an interactive exhibit where Terps from across campus tell their stories of impact, their stories of tackling grand challenges and building on the learning that they've received here at Maryland, inside and outside the classroom. Those stories illustrate that Maryland is the place if you want to do good. And that reality is further illustrated by me just getting to share 2 updates from 2 groups that were on this stage just last year. One of those groups, if you were here last year, is the Get Over It group. And even the professor who taught that Do Good Now course is in the room right here, Jawani Tremblay-Boar. And those students, focused on making menstrual products free on campus. And as of this semester, there are now 400 menstrual product dispensers freely available on 100 campus buildings. And also on the stage last time was an alum group, the Hollister Foundation, that provides recycled medications around the world. Since the last challenge, they have now delivered over $9 million worth of recycled medications around the world, including millions of dollars of recycled medications to Ukraine. How about a round of applause for the Hollister Foundation? And tonight, this night you're gonna hear from 6 incredible finalists who are also making an impact around the world. And we're also thrilled to have 2 live alumni who are gonna share their updates about the impact they're making in the world. And we're also gonna give you, throughout the program, 3 of the stories of impact from the Change the World exhibit. And the first story that you're gonna hear from an alum group that was on this stage just a couple years ago is the Audelia Community Response Team. So what do you say? Let's get started.
Audelia Community Response Team is named after my mom. My mom instilled the need to help our community. She always would actually take our things and send them to El Salvador. Audelia Community started to help with food insecurity in Prince George's County and Montgomery County. And we moved forward to connecting community members with other resources and other organizations. Audelia Community didn't originate as a program. Myself and my siblings worked at a clinic. One of our patients was actually on the news talking about the impact that COVID had on her. So it did start as just my family helping one other family. And then by word of mouth, it just grew into the organization that it is now. Within the first 9 months during the pandemic, Audelia Community had 60 volunteers, and we were serving 1,400 families. And that's about 3.7 million meals. We've been able to put together COVID vaccine clinics. We're able to get 6,000 community members vaccinated with their first and second dose. We actually learned about the Do Good Challenge, I think, like 2 days before the deadline was due for the application. And we just quickly tried to put everything together, all the information that we had. We honestly didn't think we were going to get picked. Winning the Audience Choice Award was, I think, more exciting than winning the challenge because it just showed that we were making an impact and the community was involved in our success. Coming to the University of Maryland allowed me to expand my network, and those connections were actually what helped me make Audelia Community into what it is now.
And Oneda Hernandez is here. Oneda, can you stand up? Let's give her another round of applause, everyone. I can't see, but for all the amazing work she's done with the Audelia community. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Yousefnejad Gallagher, the Associate Director at the Do Good Institute. This event is really near and dear to my heart. 10 years ago, I pitched on the challenge stage, and it showed me that the Do Good community is strong, supportive, connected. I was thinking about this a lot last night, and we're like an extended family of really passionate and impactful people, and this is like our family reunion. For those of our new friends and those who need a refresher, let me explain how the evening will work. Tonight, our 6 finalist teams will pitch their project or venture and the impact they've created in 5 minutes. And after that, our esteemed panel of judges will have just a few minutes to ask them some questions. And those judges are going to determine who takes home first, second, and third place prizes tonight. But they're not the only ones giving out prizes. You all have an important role to play, so please pay attention. And after all the pitches have been made, we're going to ask you to text a vote for your favorite team. The team that wins the most votes takes home the Audience Choice Award for an additional $2,500. I'll tell you about the 2 tracks. First up, we have the projects track. These groups have chosen to make an impact for a cause or existing organization, engaging in activities like volunteering, fundraising, advocacy and awareness campaigns. After our project finalists, we're going to hear from our venture teams. Ventures are student-created social enterprises or nonprofits that are maximizing social impact. But before we hear from tonight's pitches, I want to introduce you to a highly impactful alum, Evan Lutz. For those of you who don't know Evan, he was a 2014 Do Good Challenge finalist. He's an alum as well. And he's a founder and CEO of Hungry Harvest, a farm-to-doorstep produce company on a mission to fight food waste and hunger. Evan has been recognized as a 30 under 30 social entrepreneur in Forbes. He was on Baltimore's 40 under 40 list, and he was awarded the Montgomery County Emerging Business of the Year Award, previously won by companies like Honest Tea, Sweetgreen, and Comcast, to give you an idea of the company he keeps. He was also featured on ABC's Shark Tank, where he made a deal with Robert Herjavec. Please help me welcome Evan to the stage.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone feeling tonight? Ready to do some good? So I'm Evan Lutz. I started a company called Hungry Harvest. We're a produce delivery service that we take produce that otherwise would go to waste because apples are too big or too small, carrots are crooked, eggplants have these funny shapes, and we sell it to consumers. I had this idea when I was in college. I was a senior here at the University of Maryland. I set up a little fruit and vegetable farm stand right outside of Stamp Student Union, and I started selling 5-pound bags for $5. No joke. It was just me. 10 students came up to buy from me the first week, 20 the next week. By the end of the semester, we had 500 customers, 10 interns, a bunch of volunteers. I was speaking to a bunch of classes. It all started right here. Since then, we started about 9 years ago. We've reduced about 40 million pounds of produce from going to waste. We've served over 100,000 individuals who otherwise would not have access to produce. We've done some really, really incredible things. And it all started, actually more specific than this campus, in this very room. The stage was not here, it was right over there. And during my presentation, I got some feedback from Boomer Esiason, who told me that my venture would never scale. And he was right. He was right, because my little farm stand would not have scaled. That feedback was super important for me. And so I want to make a note for everybody that's presenting tonight, all the students that want to start something in their life. The feedback that you hear tonight is actually going to be really important. Plus, like taking feedback into your life is a very, very, very important skill to have. Doesn't matter whether you are the boss or just on the starting level, taking feedback, super important. I just wanted to also just end my remarks with shouting out one person in particular. I have a very long list of people to thank and institutions to thank. But this man, in my opinion, does not get enough credit for everything that's happened in this room. And that is sitting right there, Mr. Bob Grimm. He is the firecracker. Bob, when you go to sleep at night, I just hope you know that you have made impact on myself, on a lot of other entrepreneurs that have come through this station, and we've made impact on tens of thousands of people. And that's because of you. That is because of you. So thank you, Bob, for making this whole event happen. And Hungry Harvest would not be the same without it. Go Terps, let's do some good, and thank you guys so much.
Please welcome this year's Project Track judges. Rosie Allen Herring, President and Chief Executive Officer of the United Way of the National Capital Area. Paul Montero, Secretary of the Maryland Department of Service and Civic Innovation, and Cedric Nwafor, Chief Executive Officer of Roots Africa and 2021 Do Good Challenge winner. Welcome to the stage, Kesem at University of Maryland.
Hey, Flo, wait up.
Oh, what's up, rookie? How's it going?
Dude, I'm good, man. You know what? I was just actually thinking about the camp we had last summer. You remember our naming ceremony?
Of course I do, dude. It's the first step into the Kesem community. And then we had that awesome campfire to kick things off. I lost my voice that night singing camp songs.
Oh, and then we had pool day the next day where Waterbender was showing us all of her cool tricks.
Yeah, she's got a great imagination. I mean, you saw her fishing pole, right? And didn't you go go-karting that day too?
Yeah, Misty was trying to teach me how to drift. I didn't really get it though. But she's really grown as a leader since our first week of camp together.
It's not just Misty who's grown, though. Bendy came to camp with one goal, to make a single friend. And by the end of the week, he had made an entire book club with Harry Potter.
And then we had messy games.
Everyone's favorite.
Even with all of that fun, it wasn't the messy games or the camp song or even the fishing pole that stood out to me the most. It was on our empowerment day where we slowed everything down, gathered everyone together, and talked about what brought us all together: cancer.
We invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath with us.
Take a moment and think about the following questions. Do you ever worry about your parents?
Has cancer ever hurt anyone close to you?
As a child, how could you possibly cope with the idea of losing your parents to cancer?
The Higgs family had to battle this exact reality. On July 19th, 2019, Rhonda Higgs received a call confirming that she had breast cancer and was going to have to fight for her life.
Her kids were devastated, and as her treatment went from 1 year to 2, 2 years to 3, and 3 years to 4, the toll it was taking on her two boys, Kendall and Gabriel, was worsening.
She looked for support for her kids, but all that she could find was a single offer for a free family portrait because she was told it may be their last one together.
With her treatment costing over $30,000, she simply couldn't afford to send her kids anywhere for support. That is, until she heard about Kesem. Although our programming was all virtual at the time, she told us that Kesem gave her kids the best thing a parent could ever ask for: laughter, something she hadn't heard in a very long time.
The Higgs family isn't alone, though. In the United States, 5 million children are impacted by a parent's cancer. That's 1 in 15, which is a significant number, but it also means they may be the only one on their soccer team, at the lunch table, or even at the sleepover with this experience, which is extremely isolating and has a huge impact on mental health and development.
And that's where Kesem comes in. Kesem brings all of these kids together into a community of support where they can talk about their feelings with people who just understand. At Kesem, the kids can just be kids without having to feel like an outsider.
Camp Kesem is our flagship program, but that is just one step of our year-round support, which includes reunions, cabin chats, letters to campers, and bereavement support.
And all of our support is completely free for our camper families.
Here at the University of Maryland, we hosted our first camp in 2018 for 35 campers. As of last year, we've increased our support and impact by 80% by hosting 62 campers at camp.
Some of you may have seen Kesem at Do Good in previous years. You may be wondering to yourselves, what's so different about this year?
Coming out of the pandemic, we've all realized having a sense of community is extremely important. Last year, we hosted our first in-person camp post-pandemic. However, because the families we support are immunocompromised, they were understandably cautious and took more time adjusting to in-person activities than the rest of the country. Because of this, the demand for Kesem has never been higher than right now.
This year, we already have 70 campers registered for our camp, and we fundraised over $70,000 in order to support all of these campers. However, we still have 10 campers on our wait list, and the last thing we would ever want to do is to deny any family from our services because of financial reasons.
With the top prize of $5,000, we would be able to take 5 more campers off of our wait list and support them for an entire year. This means that Waterbender, Misty, Bendy, and of course the Higgs family, Snake Eyes, and Transformer all won't have to face their parents' cancer alone. These are 5 individuals with their own stories and struggles, but they will all have Kesem to lean on.
Before we wrap up, we just wanted to leave you with a bit of hope. Cancer is the storm that blocks out the sun, but with your help, Kesem can be that ray of light that shines through. Thank you.
Fantastic presentation, guys.
Thank you.
I'm curious about the initial 35. Where are they now? Have they progressed through your program, or how are you supporting them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So each year since we've started, we've had a retention rate of around 85%. So 85% of our campers come back every single year. And obviously we had a little bit of a rough patch with the pandemic as it hit all of the communities that we support. But generally every year, 85% of our campers come back and receive our services again.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Good evening. Great pitch. So when you think about what it takes to pull that off, and you talked about the $70K that you've already raised for this year, but you already have a waiting list, how many volunteers do you all need to pull off something like this? And does it continue to grow year after year in terms of the volunteers as you try to scale?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's been my job for the past 2 years to organize our volunteer base on campus. As of right now, we have a counselor base of around 60, and that grows every single year based on our camper needs. The amount of volunteers who are involved fluctuates throughout the year with student schedules and things like that, but I would say we have around 80 members currently who are invested and involved consistently with our organization, and that's grown throughout the years to reflect the amount of campers that we are supporting.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed your presentation and glad to see you back. A question around, you've been going since 2018, so your sort of affinity network grows, you have alumni. How are you keeping them connected with one another? You mentioned they come back, some of them come back to camp, but as you have alums, how do you leverage them and engage them to spread the word about the great work you're doing?
Yeah, so we actually have members on our executive board that are dedicated to networking with our alum. So we provide our alumni with plenty of opportunities to stay involved within Kesem. For example, during like our largest fundraising event of the year, Giving Tuesday, we invite alumni to come back to campus and help us fundraise, or even just donate to the organization itself, or just spread the word. We also have like a dedicated visitors day at camp where alumni can actually come back to the camp and see all of the campers they've been working with throughout their entire college career. And it's a really heartwarming seeing the alumni connect with the campers again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Preventing Sexual Assault.
The woman you see here, who we will call Amy, is a survivor of sexual assault. Amy, like many college students, grapple with feelings of loneliness, depression, and self-blame after their assault.
However, this issue does not only impact Amy, but the two of us, as well as many of our friends, and family members who have felt the same. Please raise your hand if you or someone you know has been affected by sexual assault. As you can see, most, if not all of the room has been impacted by this issue in some way. Good evening, everyone. My name is Damiana Colley.
And my name is Anna Gerstein, and we are the co-presidents of Preventing Sexual Assault. 13% of students in their undergraduate years will be a victim of sexual assault in some form. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted while in college. This also affects University of Maryland students. Within the past decade, we've seen a large increase in these numbers, and since 2014, we have seen the largest number of reports on our campus this past year.
In order to best understand how to address this issue on campus and our community's need for it, it is best to assimilate the population into these sections. When students enter university, they are typically 17 or 18 years old. They might only have a vague understanding of what sexual assault looks like on campus, especially on college campuses. While the university does provide online sexual assault awareness training, it is only required once, and you're pretty much able to skip through it. This leaves an entire population of students fairly oblivious to the issue at hand.
PSA aims to bring education, awareness, and action to prevent sexual assault. Our goal is to work with power-based violence survivors and uplift and support them while simultaneously working to end rape culture, holding enablers accountable, and ultimately prevent sexual assault. Our team of over 200 students will not stop until our number of Title IX reports is 0.
Throughout the year, we hold a variety of different events on and off campus to engage our community and mobilize our members to create long-lasting change. Since our inception, we have been able to engage over 12,000 students. To put that into perspective, our combined efforts have reached almost the entirety of the Xfinity Center. Despite a lack of resources, these numbers have continued to grow. And just this past month, during Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we were able to engage over 1,600 students along with our partners.
One of our largest events that we hold annually is Occupy McKeldin. This event has over 1,000 attendees and is an 8-hour event. Me and Damiana have estimated that in our presidency, over the past 2 to 3 months, we have engaged with over 2,500 students, whether that be education, providing resources, and working towards creating a campus of consent.
Throughout our partnerships with various on-campus and off-campus organizations, we have been able to engage the UMD community and beyond. For example, in our collaboration with DFSL, we have been able to train members of Greek Life on sexual assault prevention every spring and fall semesters. Moreover, in our collaboration with off-campus organizations such as MCASA, we've been able to advocate for and push legislation in the state of Maryland. Recently, we've been working with RHA and SGA to provide resources for incoming students in first-year residencies. Lastly, we work with countless organizations through the SORC office to be able to facilitate conversations surrounding sexual assault and their intersecting issues.
When we work with community organizations, we ask for their feedback. One of our community organizations that we work closely with said the following: PSA allowed us to dive deep in productive and meaningful conversation. No other organization on campus can do this.
With $5,000, we would be able to expand our outreach in the UMD community and beyond. For example, we would like to develop training specific for high schools and be able to engage a younger community within Prince George's County. Education must start in high school and continue throughout college. Therefore, we also hope to spread our resources and initiatives to other universities across the nation and able to foster new connections. Lastly, we hope to implement a permanent in-person and required sexual assault prevention and sexual assault awareness training for all incoming students and develop a curriculum to disperse to the current population of UMD to be able to reiterate this issue and keep it in the mind of students. In closing, I'd like to present this quote by Lily Bernard, a survivor of sexual assault and a previous speaker at our Occupy McKeldin event. I want you to do something that we victims do involuntarily. We are drafted into this war on rape. Enlist yourself on the war on rape. It takes the whole community to stop this.
With your help, we can implement long-lasting change so the next generation of students will not be in that 13% and we will not have another Amy. Thank you.
So thank you, ladies. That was quite informative, and I do really appreciate the data. you mentioned the goal of having 0 Title IX as you work toward this, and you mentioned the legislation that you're putting forth in the state of Maryland. Can you expand a little bit on that legislation, as well as, second follow-up, when you talk about expanding what the winnings would help you do in expanding throughout the university community, but also within Prince George's County? Can you share a little bit about the legislation and the expansion opportunity?
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. I can speak a little bit on the legislation because I actually got that opportunity to testify on behalf of the Maryland Judiciary Committee, which was an amazing experience. But ultimately, we worked with Maryland Coalition of Sexual Assault to go in and testify on behalf of House Bill 412, which clarifies the definition of consent. Currently, in the state of Maryland, there's a few laws that are a little bit concerning. Marital rape is actually still legal in the state of Maryland, and additionally, the topic of consent is not clarified, so going in, that would make sure that consent is clarified in the state of Maryland.
Yeah, and in order to really expand this reach beyond UMD's community, when I say implementing resources within surrounding high schools, such as in Prince George's County, in the past we've worked with multiple high schools, including Potomac High School and Georgetown Day School, and attended summits where we train the students on what consent practices look like, what disclosure practices look like, what power dynamics can look like in certain situations, particularly on college campuses. And then as far as nationwide, we already have an affiliation with other universities via a group chat where we're able to communicate with others passionate about this issue as well. And so through this network, we're able to share resources or events that we're hosting. So we hope to really develop a curriculum in collaboration with those universities and disperse it to those universities.
Thank you.
Thank you for your advocacy and work in this space. It's so important. And I wanted to understand, as you think about growth, and you mentioned many of your volunteers are survivors themselves, this work can be very heavy. And as you expand, can you tell me your thinking around how you're supporting the emotional wellness of your volunteers? The vicarious trauma they may go through in doing this important work, but can you share a bit of your thinking in that space?
Yeah, so recently we actually developed a mental health committee specifically for this purpose. In the past, we haven't had one of those committees. So the purpose of this committee is obviously to support students who might feel triggered by this issue, because it is a very overwhelming issue and a hard issue to work with. So this mental health committee has been implemented specifically for that purpose. But also all of our members are trained in survivor support practices. So if someone discloses to them, they know how to handle the situation or to where to redirect the survivor in order to get them adequate help. So yeah, I think in combination, the mental health committee who is there to support our team, as well as our team being able to support the community, really helps.
Additionally, the work that we do, it can be draining, but it's really rewarding to us, especially with working the UMD community. Us personally, and a lot of the people that we work with know people that have experienced sexual assault or didn't realize that they did experience sexual assault and then come to one of our events and realize it during that time. So, having, like Damiana said, we do have that mental health chair, but unfortunately, we are a student-run organization, so we do have lack of funding. But, we have the mental health committee that sends out group chats, sends out text messages, checks in on people. So just little things like that, making sure people are okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation.
Good evening. My name is Dawn Collins, and I'm a graduate student here at the University of Maryland, College Park. I am also the very proud mother of Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III. Lieutenant Collins' life was taken away from him by what I call a domestic terrorist. That moment, my husband and I, lives changed forever. But we couldn't stay there. We knew we had to survive. And in that survival, we decided to form the Second Lieutenant Richard W. Collins III Foundation. And in this foundation, we unite people from all walks of life. Because you remember this, Richard took an oath to defend this nation against all Americans. Not Black America, not white America, but all Americans. And that was the proudest day of his life. So, my husband and I knew what Richard was all about, so we formed partnerships. And see, that's how we're going to defeat this, partnerships, all across this great country of ours. The first partnership that I am so very proud of is through the Social Justice Alliance, and that's with the University of Maryland, College Park, and Bowie State University. This is where you have great minds, professors, and lay people come together and to come and solve these problems that plague our great nation. And when these two university presidents said it was okay, yes, we are going to do this. And this is the 5th year, and we're doing it. This Friday, we will have another symposium with the Social Justice Alliance. We're also working with the Mission Continues, where you have retired military veterans working together with ROTC from cadets from both campuses. And in this picture, what you see is where we went in to Baltimore to an urban garden, and guess what they told us? In 3 hours, we were to accomplish what usually takes them 3 months. So this is the power of what working together will do. Also, I am so proud of this, Outward Bound, where we bring students from over 4 different universities, and they come together and go on an expedition out in the Adirondack Trail. And guess what? They don't care where they came from. They know they have to survive on one another to get the job done. And when those cadets come back, they are changed. And this, what we did, lobbied the General Assembly in the state of Maryland to change the hate crime law so that no one would have to feel the pain that my husband and I feel daily because of hate. Also at that time, 6 years ago, I met a man named Mike Miller. He was the president of the state senate at that time. And I begged him, please don't let my son's death be in vain. And he said, Mrs. Collins, don't worry. And he instituted the Richard W. Collins III Leadership with Honor Scholarship. And let me tell you about this. You see those numbers? $5 million thus far has been committed. And over 700, you hear that number? 700 students have been receiving that scholarship. And out of those 700 students, 190 have become military officers. And in this, I've received letters from mothers saying, I know your pain is great, but my son and daughter would never have been able to do this without those monies. So you may ask me, what's next? Because see, Mrs. Collins and Mr. Collins, we dream big. With that $5,000, we'll be able to hire 3 ROTC interns to help with the capacity of our foundation, to make sure that we stay in contact with our funders. And I just get so excited when we think about that, and we're also planning that next fundraiser, because being a student of public policy, I know I got to do a fundraiser. So when we plan it, we want to make sure that we do it well. So I thank you for your time and listening to A Mother's Heart. Thank you.
What a powerful story to turn struggle into triumph.
Yes,
Really,
sir.
kudos to you. I'm curious, what is your access point? What is one thing that could happen today that could take your foundation to the next level?
One thing that would take my
Foundation or your organization to the next level?
a national footprint. And when I say that, not only University of Maryland and Bowie State, I'm speaking about all PWIs, which is predominantly white institutions, joining with HBCUs in this endeavor. Because see, what's happening here, we're the first in the nation. When we did the research, we're finding out that we here in the Maryland, the first that you have a PWI and an HBCU coming together in this capacity. And I want to take it national.
So for those in the audience, utilize your network to make this possible.
Exactly.
So as you think about what you've been able to accomplish, and Mrs. Collins, we recognize that this is through a significant loss and through a lot of pain for your family. We honor you in doing that today. The fact that you have worked through that and have chosen to honor your son's life by encouraging others to take the same oath that he took, and to hear what you've been able to do with the $5 million committed, 700 students, 190 military officers. If you're in your strategic planning session, I know that you have to think about the next 3 to 5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned a national footprint, but what would you say would be the first 1, 2, or 3 steps to take you to get toward that national footprint?
Okay, thank you for asking that question. We have to make sure that we're solidified here with what we're doing with the University of Maryland and Bowie State. We're working on that now. We're bringing the professors together to make sure we make that footprint. And the next step, we already have 2 universities that are waiting in the wings to work with us when we get solidified here, and we will take it to that next step. So we have universities actually asking us if we can be a part of this great endeavor. That would be one of the ways that we can take it to that next level. We're going to 2 universities at a time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have to second Rosie's honoring of you. When I first saw you at the White House United We Stand Summit against hate back in September, and you represented your family and the memory of your son so well. Thank you for turning your pain into purpose and the work you're doing. I'm wearing my hat from my old job at the Justice Department. The FBI hate crime statistics came out at the beginning of the year. Terrible.
Yes.
Worst in years. And then they came out with revised numbers last month. Even worse than we
Worse.
thought, right? And the intersectional nature of hate, you sort of the anti-Semitism, the anti-trans, the anti-immigrant, all the antis moving in the wrong direction. What work, and you mentioned this great sort of HBCU PWI partnership. Have you had an occasion to work with other organizations who occupy this space of pushing back against the hate, to sort of push in the direction of the foundation? I think there are a lot of allies out there, but I'm just wondering if you've connected with any other groups that are also facing the scourge of hate violence.
Well, we're not working with other groups specifically. Right now, my husband and I are targeting the... Okay.
Finish your answer.
Right now, my husband and I are targeting the military because, see, they're the sentinels of this great nation. And they have to be together before you can go on to the next. And then that's probably going to the college campuses. See, because people my age usually kind of set in their ways, some people. But see, when I look out here and hear what young people think and what they're the changers of the world. And that's our next targeted audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, how about another round of applause for all 3 of our project finalists? And I'm gonna, and also thank our judges that are gonna go back and do their deliberations and decide on first, second, and third place. So we'll thank you, judges. And before we hear from our venture finalists, we're honored to have another amazing alum with us tonight. I'm going to have him come up to the stage in a second, Viraj Shah. Viraj is the co-founder and CEO of Vitalize Care, where he works to improve the mental health of healthcare professionals. Viraj graduated from Maryland in 2021, and then he moved to the UK to pursue a PhD at the University of Cambridge as a Gates Cambridge Scholar. In fall of 2022, Viraj left his PhD to commit full-time to Vitalize. And you may also, I should also mention that he's been involved in a couple of other Do Good Challenge finalists over the years that you may remember, Public Health Without Borders and Chat Health. And he also worked as a mental health researcher for the U.S. Surgeon General. Please welcome to the stage, Viraj Shah.
Thanks, Dr. Grimm, for exposing me as a dropout. It feels really good to be here. The Do Good Challenge is a really, really special place for me. Like Dr. Grimm said, I'm Viraj. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Vitalize. We are working to improve the mental health of healthcare professionals. But my journey with the Do Good Institute and the Do Good Challenge actually started quite a few years ago, my freshman year of college. Now, when I went to my first Do Good Challenge, Sarah knows this story, I didn't know what the Do Good Challenge was. I was part of a club on campus at that point in time called Public Health Without Borders. And I got a text the morning of from the president saying, we need you to go stand at this booth in the Clarice Smith Auditorium. I was like, all right, class is done, I'm gonna go. And I went there, and I had to man this little table. We were a semi-finalist and talk about Public Health Beyond Borders. And I really didn't know what this was about. And then someone from the School of Public Policy called Robert Orr, he came up and he asked me a bunch of questions. About 2 hours later, I figured out that he was actually the dean of the School of Public Policy, and then I probably said a whole bunch of dumb things to him about what we were doing because I had, let's say, 5 hours of notice to be able to do it. But little did I know that that was actually the start of what would be the most, honestly, meaningful community that I was a part of at the University of Maryland. Since then, I had the opportunity to take part of the challenge with Public Health Without Borders, also with Chat Health, really giving me the opportunity to solve problems that either I faced or that I personally really cared about. Through the Do Good Institute, I learned how to formulate ideas, how to execute on them, how to build teams, how to raise funding. But one of the most influential things that actually happened as part of the Do Good Institute is I met my co-founder for Vitalize Care. Sanket and I actually were connected by Keisha a few years ago, and we met right before the Thanksgiving break in the Do Good Accelerator. And if that hadn't happened, I have no clue where I would have been today. Fast forward a bit, we had the opportunity with Vitalize Care to participate, luckily win the Do Good Challenge last year. This was a really defining moment in our company's journey. I think it gave us a lot of the confidence that said, maybe we could do this full time. At that point in time, both Sanket and I were on paths to go to medical school. And for us, accepting that that might not be our future is really hard. My parents are here today. Sorry about that, guys. But ever since we were able to commit full time to Vitalize, it has been one of the most incredible journeys. Since we went full-time on Vitalize just about 6 months ago, we all dropped out of school. We have reached our first 4 hospital customers and have the American Nurses Association all as customers of our company. We've raised over $3.5 million to support our vision, and we're on track to reach over 50,000 healthcare professionals by the end of this year. So honestly, Dan, I think for me, the Do Good Challenge and being able to come to this event is always a homecoming. I have everything to owe to the people in this room who have given me the opportunities to make my vision a reality. And if you'd asked me 4 years ago where I would have been, this would not have been the answer. Never in a million years could I have dreamed that this is an opportunity to work on my company full time, to live in San Francisco and have the opportunity to do something every single day that I really care about. And for all of the students here, if you've got an idea at this university, go and take that next step. Find someone else to work with. Try to take that to the first step to executing on it, because what I'll say is unique about this university is that the people here are going to support you, and they're going to support you in ways that you never thought were possible. So honestly, congrats to all the teams participating. Thanks to the entire Do Good Institute. And go Terps.
Roots Africa is an organization whose mission is to combat hunger and poverty in Africa by connecting academic institutions and expertise in the US to farming communities in Africa. Growing up in Cameroon, we had 6 different farms. We worked on those farms each and every day. Despite all of the hard work that we put in, there were still days when we could not guarantee our next meal. Fast forward a few years later, I made it to the United States. While I was a bellman at the Holiday Inn, I met a group of farmers from Idaho. They invited me to Idaho, and on one of the farms, I watched as a tractor till the soil for about 5 minutes. And at that moment, it dawned on me that the amount of time it took for that tractor to till the soil for 5 minutes was equivalent to the amount of time my family worked for a whole week. So that tractor really became a symbol of resources, expertise, know-how, and goodwill that, if connected to the African continent in a meaningful way, could help elevate families out of hunger and poverty.
We don't come in with this Western savior mentality, but rather come in with a, hey, counterparts, what do you guys need? How can we support you and give you the resources you need to succeed? Transferring knowledge, skills, expertise to the next generation, to future generations.
The fact that that idea of doing good that is embedded within UMD believes in a small freshman idea to change the world is truly confidence building. It's encouraging. And for them to believe in us, for them to think that we can do it, really gives you this launching pad that you may not find in other places.
Please welcome this year's Venture Track judges, Michelle Gilliard, Corporate Social Responsibility Leader for IBM Americas, Khalil Kettering, BSO's Earth Fund Program Director for the Nature Conservancy and 2014 Do Good Challenge finalist, and Daniel Whittam, Executive Director, Senior Philanthropic Advisor at Morgan Stanley. Welcome to the stage, Repurpose Farm Plastic, LLC.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christina Chrisman, co-founder and CEO of Repurpose Farm Plastic. Some of my earliest childhood memories were on my grandparents' farms. I spent every holiday here with my brother. We chased chickens, built forts, picked watermelons, and my grandfather, Joseph, inspired to study agriculture engineering, so we were hoping that one day I will take over the farm. But a few months into college, my grandfather passed away due to an open burning accident involving plastic. This changed the trajectory of my life, and fast forward 20 years, I find myself formulating solutions for farmers to dispose of their plastic waste properly. But what kind of plastic am I talking about? It is a long-established farming practice to use plastic mulch film on top and irrigation tubes at the bottom because it keeps diseases, pathogens away, and retains water. But at the end of the season, it gets rolled up into this soil-covered plastic board that is just too contaminated to get recycled. So farmers have 3 options to dispose of their plastic waste: leaving on the field, burning it, or taking it to the landfill. Therefore, the local waste management services are our primary competitors because the recycler's machinery does not fit to recycle agricultural plastic waste. And during the customer discovery interviews, we found that 99% of the farmers would use and they would pay equivalent or more for recycling if it would exist in their area. So this was the moment where my co-founder Ben and I paused and we were like, the only problem with farm plastic that it is dirty. So if we can send humans to space, then surely we can formulate ideas how to repurpose farm plastic. And we did. It requires a streamlined system to collect, clean, and create something valuable out of it. But let me walk you through the steps. So the first one, the collection, is actually super easy because farm plastic has an advantage over residential plastic waste as it is a seasonal item. And we always know what 2 types of plastic we will get each time that does not require a tedious sorting process. And the cleaning requires 2 steps. First, we need to cut this plastic ball into smaller pieces and to insert into this brushing device that we invented. And due to pending patenting, I am not able to disclose more about this technology just yet. But the results, it removes 99% of the dirt, which fulfills the industry requirements. And it also reduces the weight by 50%, which reduces the cost and emissions associated with transportation. So the next question is, what can be done with this pile of cleaned plastic? The possibilities are endless. And you believe it or not, it is a valuable building material. So one of our potential buyers blends together this cleaned plastic film with leftover wood, and they create this decking, fencing, railing material out of it. Because we believe that right now we are not able to stop the plastic production, but we need to deal with the waste. So why don't we put it somewhere where it is good, that is lasts forever? So far, thanks to our efforts, we already saved 2 tons from the University of Maryland research farms from the landfill, and we have the potential to do so in the state of Maryland, the United States, and beyond. The agri-plastic waste management is an emerging industry due to environmental concerns, and it is expected to grow exponentially due to environmental concerns. And this waste management industry has a $575 billion industry, and we are ready to disrupt it and take a bite out of it. So our business is actually super easy. We make money by collecting the plastic from farmers, we clean it, and we sell it by keeping our operational costs low. And based on our estimates in the state of Maryland, the number of farms and the plastic they use, we are projected to be in the $500,000 revenue within the first 3 years. We started this journey 2 years ago, and we received grants and won a couple of competitions, and this allowed us to build a prototype and conduct this pilot collection at the University of Maryland Research Farms. And the $5,000 grant prize will buy us a baler. Compressing the clean material is reducing the cost of transportation. And it is also an industry requirement. Having able to bale our clean material would allow us to fulfill a pilot order to one of the leading decking company. Upon succession, they promised us a 5-year contract with unlimited plastic with the best market price guaranteed. And why us? We are a team who created a solution for farmers to recycle their plastic waste locally that is scalable nationally and globally. A solution for farmers that has a positive outcome for communities, countries, and the world. Thank you.
Great presentation, really enjoyed that. Can you talk a little bit about what the sort of the upfront or onboarding costs for farmers to engage with this, and how does that compare with current alternative methods for dealing with this plastic waste?
Thank you for the question. And the first round of customers will be the farmers who already use the plastic waste removal services. and we will match the price that they already pay $150 per ton to remove it, and that will be our starting point.
I really appreciate the innovation that we're looking at here. And when we're looking at a market for this recycled plastic, you really talked a lot about the supply, and I'd like to unpack a little bit more about the demand. We hear a lot that less than 10% of the plastics that we think are recycled are actually recycled. So I'm curious about the demand side of this market and who are the buyers, and how are you ensuring that this is really getting actually recycled and not just ending up in a landfill somewhere?
Thank you for your question. And yes, the residential plastic waste recycling is a very complicated process, and it's a moment it doesn't work because of the contamination. And it is very difficult to clean all sorts of materials, but we have an advantage that we have just one type of contamination, the dirt, that we will be 99% of it, we can remove it. So it will be clean, that the industry already validated for us, that say that this is exactly what we can use. And so we already received multiple offers, those who can use this material to blend it with other materials. And thanks to my co-founder's stepmom here, she's a recycle broker, and she was able to introduce us for multiple companies to have a sit down and have meeting with them.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's a very inventive idea. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about the farmers. So from the examples you gave, it sounds like you're focused on smallholder farmers. Is that correct? Or industrial? What's your target market? That's my first question.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And so we did set a limit for like farmers who produce like 2 tons of plastic waste, but we did not set an upper limit yet. So for economical reasons, yeah.
Okay. And so what's the return back to the farmer in terms of the social impact, the financial impact? How does it help the farmer become more sustainable?
Yeah, so farmers actually are very distressed about this problem. They don't like the fact that they are actually like polluting the environment, essentially, but there is no alternative. There is no alternative product to use at the moment, and there is no alternative to take it to the landfill. And so the farmers are welcoming our services, and it will be for them like an emotional release, that they would know that they don't make more harm in the environment.
What is the biggest risk that you see preventing you from taking this to scale?
To be honest, I don't see a risk. I want to try it and see, and if we fail, but I don't see a bad risk or good risk. I just going to do it, yeah.
Welcome to the stage, Sustainably.
Imagine your landlord says, hey, I'm going to pay your energy bill in perpetuity. How might you act differently? You might leave the lights on forever. You might leave the AC on forever. Who cares, right? You're not the one footing the bill. Now, what if I said that research orgs are facing the same problem as a landlord because of these things? Sashes. Sashes are workstations scientists use when handling volatile chemicals, and they use as much energy in a day as a house does in a year. You can close sashes the same way you turn off lights when you leave a room, but a lot of scientists don't do that because they're not the ones footing the energy bill. And this is a big problem. In fact, there are 2 million fume hoods across academic, government, and industrial labs across the world, and 60% of them are open all the time, which leads to $4 billion in energy costs every single year. By solving this problem, we could fund 4 Harvards worth of research, as well as cut our carbon footprint by 21 million tons. My name is Kevin. I'm the CEO of Sustainably, and this is the problem that we're trying to solve. Now, I deal with this problem firsthand as a UMD sustainability manager, and I want to first tell you what we're doing now to address this problem. Ready? It's really high tech. We spend months going door to door, asking scientists kindly to close their stashes. And to monitor their use, we analyze gigabytes of stash energy data on Excel sheets that crash half the time and lose our work. It's a pain. And interviews with 30 sustainability managers all agree. What we're doing now is just not efficient, it's not scalable, and it makes energy reporting, our job, almost impossible. So we set out to create the first digital stash manager. We engineered an IoT sensor that reminds scientists to close fume hoods, and it feeds stash position data into our data analytics platform, which is tailored for sustainability managers. With our hardware-software combo, we provide real-time data on energy use, cost savings, and environmental impact, reducing what takes months down to seconds. And overall, with our platform, we provide ease and scalability of sustainability efforts, reportable environmental metrics, and return on investment in months. Our business model is B2B. For academic partners, we sell our sensors at a flat rate and our software on a SaaS model, and we scale the price up for government industrial partners. Our market research suggests that our serviceable, attainable market is $1 billion, and considering that research orgs are becoming more environmentally conscious and adopting net zero policies, we expect to capture $100 million in the next 8 to 10 years. And this is the perfect time to act. Just last year, the US, UK, and UN all declared that grant-backed research will be required to meet certain environmental reporting benchmarks by 2025. That means research orgs are actively looking for solutions like Sustainably that meet these benchmarks. Furthermore, most of our competitors don't meet these benchmarks, are several times more expensive, and don't save our customers time. Speaking of customers, we've worked with them the entire way to ensure a good product market fit. As a result, we've participated in several selective customer discovery accelerators, and we were recently invited to present our tech at the world's largest sustainability conference. We also recently completed a one-year pilot at UMD, where we saved the university $15,000 and reduced our carbon footprint by 71 tons. More excitingly, UMD wants to keep working with us, and we expect to close a $40,000 contract by the end of May. Looking forward, we're focusing this year on paid pilots and securing our first contracts. We're also working with a nonprofit to create an international SASH competition, which will give us global visibility. Ultimately, our vision is to become the go-to vendor for sustainable lab solutions around the world. We've been working towards this vision for a year and a half now. In addition to completing the pilot, we've signed 4 MOUs for paid pilots with large research institutions, and we've raised $4,000 in non-dilutive funding. So judges, we're moving fast, and 5K provides us with key product improvements that allow us to execute on paid pilots, as well as intellectual property rights, as well as a stronger sales pipeline. We expect to close 3 contracts by the end of this year, bringing in our first $100K in revenue, and we look to scale this to 178 partners by 2026, as well as meet our goal of reducing our carbon emissions by 1 million tons. And we're the right team for this. Altogether, we have 10 years of experience in founding companies and have done pioneering work in the fields of green tech and data science. But above all, we're on a mission to create a culture of sustainability for science. And with our tech, we can ensure that we are innovating sustainably. Thank you.
Thank you. You're talking carbon emissions, speaking my language. I like it. So this is about behavior change, if I understand correctly. And behavior change is not easy to do. So can you explain a little bit to me how this triggers behavior change? And because there's still, it seems like, the opportunity for people to ignore or forget or not pay attention to your tool and still have the same problem.
Sure. So the hardware part of our solution, it's a sensor alarm in reality. So when it senses that the person's not there and the sash is open, it basically makes an alarm telling you to close it. It's a really simple idea and concept, but also pretty effective. During our pilot, we were able to engage over 65 scientists, and we had a pretty much 100% engagement rate. So it's pretty effective at them having that sash being closed down.
Very interesting project that you have here, and I'm wondering, what's the most challenging problem that you have to solve that will enable you to scale? And what's your solution?
Great question. So currently, in terms of scalability, it has to do with producing our sensors, I would say. Right now, we're producing our sensors by hand, and it costs about $60 to produce a single sensor. With this funding, we would be able to essentially build a prototype, and we'll actually build a whole entire sensor that is machine buildable, and that would reduce our cost to about $20. In addition, for our software side of things, it costs about $450 a month to maintain. This money would also go towards building a private server that allows us to reduce those costs to about $250 a month.
Great presentation, really learned a lot. Can you talk a little bit more about the others in the space that are doing this and really what sets you apart? Is it the hardware, software combination? Is it the technology? You referenced a patent. Can you speak a little bit more about why this solution is different and unique and why a university would go with your model as opposed to a competitor's?
Great question. So these three are our most direct competitors. The Lichen Lab focuses more on the hardware side of things. 3Flow focuses more on the software side of things. We're the only ones that provide both solutions, an all-in-one package, so to speak. And I also mentioned that they don't really meet reporting benchmarks. As someone who works within the sustainability space, as a manager, I already am up to date with the metrics that we need, and we provide that metrics right to our customers, and that saves them a lot of time. I would also say the way we generated this was through surveys with other sustainability managers, and we basically told them, these are the things on the market that we have right now, and this is our idea. Please rate them on these scales. And almost unanimously, this was the results that they came. So not only do we meet their benchmarks, we're more scalable than them. We reduce the staff time needed to run these kind of programs. We provide them really comprehensive metrics, reportable metrics, and we're one of the only few that can provide a return on investment in months. So a really great deal for our customers.
Can I ask a question about who this is really for? And the reason I'm asking this question is that who needs this the most? Really, the costs are not that prohibitive when you think about the cost of a research lab and just the kind of funding that the people who are involved in this are engaged in. So who stands to benefit from most as you think about your market?
The people who are going to benefit most are the sustainability managers within research orgs. Currently about 60-70% of research orgs, including academics, biotech, and government, all have sustainability managers who are facing this problem right now. And looking forward, we expect to see about 90% of these organizations eventually having this kind of position facing this problem as well. So that's our market. We're selling directly to the sustainability managers, and they're going to essentially install our platform and use it the most.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the stage, Wise Cities, LLC.
Take a moment and think about somebody in your life over the age of 65 and the impact that they've had on you. For me, that person is my nanny. Now, my nanny came to the US from India at the age of 18. As a single mother, she raised 2 daughters, worked full-time, became fluent in English, and got a degree right here at the University of Maryland, all at the same time. And she made this pin for me, actually. Now, we all have somebody in our lives like her, and it is on their behalf that I'm here speaking to you today, and I hope that I reach you. If you were to fill this room with 100 of our older loved ones, 65 of them would be socially unhappy, 40 would be chronically lonely, and 25 would be clinically socially isolated. Nationwide, this means that 36 million older adults just like them struggle with being alone, a number that will double in the next 20 years if not addressed. We decided to find out how getting older could put someone at such a high risk of being alone. Now, older adults have a burning desire to be involved in their communities, but they give up before even trying because opportunities to do so are so hard to find. In fact, this perceived absence of opportunities is a top reason why our older loved ones are lonely. It turns out that the businesses and governments that offer these opportunities have no idea how to effectively reach the older population and lose billions of dollars each year because of it. We realized these three groups wanted to connect and create mutual value, but were missing a channel on which to do so. So we made one. Hi, my name is Kat Close, and I am the co-founder of Wise Cities, a platform that serves as this channel. Our platform is a web app specifically designed to connect older adults to their communities. Not only does it make existing opportunities that were previously hidden accessible, but it does so on all devices, 7 languages, and verbally through voice interaction. To show you how it works, let's follow Tammy through the platform. Tammy uses our platform to find a knitting class at her local senior center, a transportation service to get her there, and a county-provided transportation voucher to pay for it. Tammy's use of our platform promotes her social independence, increases utilization of her county senior services, and brings a new customer to a local business. The value of our platform starts with the older adults on it, like Tammy and my grandma. So we partner with community centers to onboard their older members free of charge. Businesses and governments then pay to have their services curated on our platform. Businesses pay monthly subscriptions, governments pay annual contracts. Once we understood the problem and had a path forward, we put together a small team and we pitched our idea. Immediately, the city of Fairfax came to us with this exact problem and paid us to develop a solution for the future. We accepted the challenge. And since then, we have made great strides in accomplishing this goal. Expanding across multiple universities, we have built a team of diverse student volunteers passionate about creating intergenerational change. Together, we have worked actively with over 190 stakeholders to build the best solution alongside everyone. We have developed relationships with 8 nationwide networks where we learn and help others tackling this issue. We have represented our cause at 6 expos and conferences where we have spread awareness of our mission to hundreds. We have pitched our idea and advocated on behalf of older adults to investors and entrepreneurs nationwide, and since inception, we have raised $25,000 in non-dilutive funding to push our venture forward. But by far, the biggest impact that we have created is the hope that we have given to those who had been feeling forgotten. I will never forget the smiles on the faces of older adults, families, caregivers, experts, and practitioners when they hear about the work that we are doing. And this is the reason why my co-founder and I will be going full-time on this venture after this semester. Given this big step forward, this $5,000 would go a long way towards accelerating our product development to launch by the time we go full-time. We already have 4 centers, 10 businesses, 4 governments, and the equivalent of 300,000 older adults actively waiting for our platform to launch. And with your help, we will be one step closer to connecting the 17,000 centers, 15 million relevant businesses, 111,000 local and state governments nationwide, with the 36 million older loved ones waiting to be included. We all age, and we are redefining what is possible for an aging population. So, on behalf of the older adults in your life today and all of us tomorrow, we hope you make the wise choice to support us. Thank you.
Great presentation, and as the population ages, much needed. So thank you very much. What has been the most challenging feedback that you've received as you've been doing this work? Who was it from, and how did you apply it?
Absolutely. So probably the biggest challenge we have faced is making sure that our interface is accessible to older adults. Now, we have worked extensively with older adults through active testing to get to a point where our interface is no longer having any issues in terms of usability. However, we realize that there's a little bit of a language barrier because everyone comes into this experience with a different way of organizing information. And so the trick for us has been understanding what mental model older adults adults and various groups of older adults come into our platform trying to find this information. We actually just onboarded somebody to our advisory board from this population who worked with AARP as a tech writer on behalf of older adults, and he has been helping us alongside many other older adults to find the solution, and we actually found one last week, and we're excited to move forward with it.
Great presentation.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. How do you screen or vet businesses or entities who want to join the platform, who see sort of a sales and revenue opportunity here? What's your process for making sure you don't get any kind of nefarious actors to use the platform in an improper way?
Absolutely. So by partnering with governments through contracts, we get lists of their accredited businesses, and that helps us take one step forward to making sure that the individuals on our platform are trusted and reliable. Also, to start, our platform is public, so our older users will not be putting any personal information or data on it, and there will be no method of businesses to contact older adults directly, which protects them until we have the proper security software to add more in-depth safeguards to protect our older members. We will also have an in-depth onboarding process for businesses specifically, where we will, speak with them and make sure that they are a right fit for our platform before we move forward with them. Thank you.
This is a really important topic. It's very personal for me because I'm getting older. And I'm curious how you're going to deal with the barriers to entry, because it's an app, and not all seniors are comfortable with apps, and it has to be on a phone, and not everybody has access to a phone, so there might be some inequity issues.
Absolutely. So I will start by saying our platform will be available on phones, laptops, desktops, and tablets. So that means it's accessible to people regardless of which device that they do have. For those who don't have devices, we plan on partnering with libraries and other community centers that do have free for the public to use devices to have our platforms automatically downloaded on them for visitors to be able to use. Many counties, like Montgomery County, also give away devices for free through various programs to those who aren't able to afford them themselves, and we will partner with those programs to have our platform automatically downloaded on it when they distribute it. We can also partner with major internet providers and device providers, for example, the GrandPad, to have our platform automatically downloaded on them before they get to the hands of older adults. I believe that is most of that. There are other avenues that we can also take to make sure that our platform is available to to the entire older population, really, which is our goal.
We got 17 seconds left, but how do your investors get paid back?
We don't have investors as of right now. We are really dedicated to the mission of our platform, right? And we want to make sure that that mission stays pure and honest on behalf of the older adults that we serve and all of our clientele as we move forward.
All right, now we're going to ask our judges to leave the stage and go back and deliberate and choose first, second, and third. And I want to say there's a reason why I've never been involved in any part of the judging of the Do Good Challenge. Good luck to you, judges. All right? And how about a round of applause for all 6 of our great finalists? And so, as Sarah mentioned, now is the time that you get to be a judge and get to vote for one of the finalists to win the $2,500 Audience Choice Award. Now, I want to emphasize, you only get one vote, all right? So pull out your phones. The text to vote information is going to come up on the screen, and you only get vote once. So we're going to give you 1 minute. Vote for the group that you want to get the $2,500 Audience Choice Award. All right, time's up. And before I go into the next part of the program, I also wanted to say to a person who has been to every one of the Do Good Challenges since the start in 2012, happy birthday, Ed Peskowitz. Now, back to the regular part of our program. Earlier this evening, you had the opportunity to engage with 6 fabulous semifinalist Do Good Challenge teams in a showcase and vote for the 2 teams that you found the most compelling. Well, the votes are in, and now these 2 groups will get the opportunity to do a 2-minute lightning round pitch right here on the stage. And the group that gets your vote, you're going to get to text to vote one more time after this. The group that gets your vote will get $750, and the other group will get $500. All right? So the 2 top winners of our showcase was Latina Pathways and Terrapin Think Tank. All right? So we're going to have our, let's hear it for our first pitch.
No matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, let's agree that educating our next generation will make our country smarter, wealthier, and more compassionate. My name is Emily Eason, and I founded Latina Pathways, which is a student-run nonprofit on campus that provides pathways for Latina immigrants towards higher education. We currently have 58 Latinas participating in Penn Gals, a college and career mentorship program that matches Latina high school students to Latina college students. By writing monthly letters back and forth, our Penn Gals are forming professional and personal bonds. Mentors are guiding their mentees through high school, college application season, choosing her career path, finding internships as an undocumented student, and pursuing higher education as an underrepresented minority. We do this work because Latinx students are less likely to get a high school degree, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree than their white peers. Many of the Latina high school Penn Gals who are matched come from backgrounds of poverty, limited English language proficiency, troubled homes, low school attendance, and poor class performance. It costs about $60 per gal to send writing supplies to our members around the country, such as pens, paper, envelopes, and stamps. And we put love and care into each of our Penn Gals packages. Without these free supplies, many of our gals will have to drop out of the program because they cannot afford the materials to write their letters. Please help Latina Pathways keep this program alive so our gals can continue making meaningful connections and empower the next generation of Latinas to get their degrees and improve their quality of life. Thank you.
Good evening. When we think about health, we often think about it within the terms of clinical care within the 4 walls of a doctor's office. But a patient's health is really shaped miles away and years before they first visit the doctor's office. My name is Daniel Fong.
And my name is Isha Yardi, and we're the co-founders and co-directors of Terrapin Think Tank, the University of Maryland's first student-led policy incubator. We research, develop, and advocate for innovative policies that address significant health challenges in Prince George's County.
Our mission is twofold. One is to improve the health of our local community through policy advocacy and development. We are working directly with the Prince George's County Health Department, the School of Public Health, and community stakeholders to identify health challenges and design policy solutions that meet the community's needs. We are doing everything from researching how social media can be better leveraged by the health department to improve uptake of health information, to designing a transportation program to reduce the appointment no-shows rates at federally qualified health centers across our county. We are taking UMD's resources as a leading research institution and reinvesting them back into our local Prince George's County community through sustainable, wide-reaching policy impact.
But we're also filling a critical opportunity gap for students at UMD. Terrapin Think Tank provides a platform for all students to meaningfully engage with their local community through policy, a platform which is the first of its kind at UMD. Our undergraduate student fellows study everything from computer science to neurobiology and have the unique opportunity to be immersed in interdisciplinary community-level policy work. Our student fellows also take a one-credit course designed and taught by my co-founder and I to equip them with the core competencies involved in policy research and design.
What started as an idea just 2 years ago over a cup of bubble tea has since grown into an impactful presence in the Prince George's County community. Terrapin Think Tank is using policy to amplify the voices of our local community and positively impact the world around us. Thank you.
All right, if you can believe that, both of those groups just learned they're going to do a pitch on the stage about an hour ago, all right? So how about a round of applause for our two showcase semifinalists, right? And now it's your time to vote one more time for either Latina Pathways, that's number 1, or team number 2, Terrapin Think Tank. All right, we're going to have one more text to vote. Showcase team number 1 is Latina Pathways. Showcase team number 2, Terrapin Think Tank. All right, we'll give you a minute. Again, Latina Pathways, number 1, Terrapin Think Tank, number 2. Cast your vote carefully. All right, my friends, we're only a few minutes away from our judges returning to announce the winners of this year's Do Good Challenge. But before we hear from our judges, we're going to have an opportunity to hear from one more story from the Change the World exhibit. And this one will feature the group Spark. And then, after you hear hear Spark, we're going to do, by popular demand, that favorite game show, Let's Do Some More Good. All right? All right, so here's the Spark story.
Let's imagine you're feeling overwhelmed, panicky, and you call up your best friend, and they pick up right away. And you're able to talk to them, you're able to share what's going on. Now imagine you're a college student, and you have to wait up to 30 days to see a counselor. The mission of Spark was to address the inaccessibility of mental health resources at the University of Maryland, the understaffing of these resources at a time and moment when there was a mental health crisis on campus.
A lot of students were struggling with the transition between high school and college, and so they were really struggling mentally, along with the struggles that college life brings.
We were launching our advocacy campaign, and the night before, we posted Terps Are in Crisis flyers all over campus, put up hashtag 30 days too late, and we also sent an email to the university network of about 1,500 professionals, and never before had I felt people literally run to our table. How can I help? When we won $5,000 in the Do Good Challenge, what we were able to do was directly invest that money back into the university to train one of the case managers as a mental health first aid trainer. And because of that, they were able to train hundreds of students. And then the university invested in an entire cohort of trainers.
Students were able to just get some tips on how to deal with stressors like schoolwork and making friends on campus. And it was really exciting to see how students took the tools that we gave them and sort of shaped them to fit their own daily schedules and lives.
When I see students that are continuing to further our mission of care, it really brings me a great sense of joy to know that Spark is still alive, Spark is still thriving, Spark is here to stay.
Good evening, everyone. Are you enjoying yourselves? Are you enjoying the program so far? Okay. This is absolutely one of my favorite programs of the year. All of the students that you have seen tonight have worked really hard to make a difference in our world, and I'm honored to be able to work with many of them and to witness the great work that they do. My name is Keisha. I'm a Terp alum. Go Terps. And I'm the manager of the Do Good Accelerator. While our judges are finishing their deliberations, we're going to play Let's Do Good. So at this time, I'm going to ask our remaining 6 showcase teams to come up to the stage to participate in our trivia game. Where are they? Oh, they're over here. So each contestant will answer 5 questions about a challenge team or alum. Players who correctly answer 3 out of 5 questions will win $100 for their team. All of our players will take home a Do Good prize pack. Audience, you are their lifeline, so help them by shouting out your answer. Don't be shy. Tell us what you think the answer is. Now let's meet our contestants. Okay, so please tell us tell us your name, introduce yourself, and tell us about your team. We'll start with you.
Hey guys, my name is Thomas, presenting Yule. Shout out to Yule, my team right there. Let's get it. We provide conversational AI on a major social media platform for brands and virtual influencers. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Olivia Anderson, and I'm the president of Scale here at UMD, and we host STEM-based competitions in Title I elementary schools to get the kids excited about STEM and learning in general.
Hi everyone, I'm Isha. I'm the co-founder and co-director of Terrapin Think Tank, and we're the University of Maryland's first student-led policy incubator.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily. I'm the founder of Latina Pathways, and we provide pathways for Latina immigrants towards higher education and community development in the United States.
Hey everyone, my name is Sakai Imani, and I'm the founder and executive dreamer at Dare to Dream, a nonprofit created to empower marginalized communities to chase their dreams unapologetically through entrepreneurship.
Awesome. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. So now that we know how you do good, let's earn some do good dollars. I will ask you each a question and give you 5 seconds to select your answer. Once those 5 seconds are up, I'll ask you to show us your answer. Are you ready? Audience, are you ready? I need y'all to get your shouting voices up. Okay, turn them up. Okay, let's begin. Question 1. Change the World, an interactive exhibit featuring life-size Terps making an impact on campus, in their communities, and across the world, is in which building? A. Okay, you have 5 seconds. Your audience is saying A. Okay, hold up your answers. All right, the correct answer is A, Thurgood Marshall Hall. Y'all were paying attention. Good job. Okay. And now for your second question. The James Hollister Wellness Foundation, which has saved over $9 million in medicines and served over 600,000 people, started in what living learning program? Saying C. What do you say? Hold your answers up high. C. What are you going to do, Takaya? C. All right, that's right. Public Leadership, College Park Scholars. Good job. Okay, our next question. In which county did the Audelia Community Response Team serve 1,400 families and provide 3.7 million meals during the COVID-19 pandemic? What's your answers? Hold them up. A, okay, all right, let's see. The answer is both. C. You can switch your answer. Okay, next question. The 700 student change makers in Roots Africa trained how many farmers on practices to support their farms in production and sales? A, 1,300, B, 2,000, or C, 2,200? What do you say? Oh, I hear A's and B's. I don't know. What are you going to do? Okay, Takaya. The correct answer is B, 2,000 farmers are trained. All right, and our final question. Students promoting and revitalizing care, which helped to spark hundreds of students being trained in mental health first aid, used what hashtag for their original campaign? C, I hear C's. What do you say? We're all going together, okay. The correct answer is C, hashtag 30 days too late. All right, let's give them a big hand. You all did great. Give yourselves a hand too. That wraps up this edition of Let's Do Good. Thank you all for participating. You may now all return backstage, and we'll just give them another hand. What a fun game. Glad you all request that every year. And now it's that time of evening that we've all been waiting for. It's time to announce the winners of our Do Good Challenge. First, I'm going to ask all of our judges to come back out on stage along with all of our teams, Dean Orr, President Pines, and our Do Good staff. While they work their way to the stage, we have a special surprise for our finalists. Thank you.
Congratulations to Stanley for making the final. Andiamo.
Go on, Andre. You are the best.
Félicitations. Go and do great.
Just wanted to take a quick moment and let you know how proud I am to be on this journey with you and your husband, Mr. Collins. Congratulations. I know you did great.
Amazing job, Kat. It is incredible to get to work with you every day, and your passion and energy really motivate the entire team.
Casa Maryland has an unbelievable amount of momentum, and you two have put in a lot of time and energy to be here today. Congrats on making it to the Do Good Finals.
Congratulations, Damiana. So proud of all the work you've done. In PSA, you worked so hard.
Hi, Christina. I just wanted to congratulate you on making it to the finals for this pitch competition. I'm so proud of you.
Congratulations. We're so proud of you for what you're doing. It's really important work.
Now we have to rush off and keep it quick because we're out on the top of in Washington, D.C. playing over here, Aaron. Putt golf.
And I'm honored to work alongside you and our colleagues at Bowie State University to eradicate hate. The work is never done, and we are just so grateful to be partners in this fight with you. Congratulations.
I always love you, and of course, I'm very, very proud of you. Love you.
You guys amaze me every year with your ability to engage in these tough and difficult conversations. Again, congratulations. You deserve all the recognition.
So I'm really proud of you guys, and I hope that you guys keep growing, and it's amazing that you guys made it to the Do Good Finals, so good luck.
Hey there, congratulations. So happy to hear. Congrats, congrats, congrats.
The work that we've done together over the past couple of years has been amazing, and it doesn't shock me at all that you all are finalists for such a prestigious award. I know that everything that you do, you have your true motivation as we preserve the memory of Lieutenant Collins, And I thank you for everything that you've done, inviting me along on this ride with you.
Hey Camp Kesem, it's French Toast. Congrats on making it to the Do Good Finals again. I knew you would.
And I truly believe with the startup like yours, sustainably, we can actually see a better and sustainable future. Congrats.
I'd like to congratulate you on your success as an entrepreneur and let you know that the TEDCO team is behind you all the way.
Wishing you the greatest congratulations on your hard work tonight. From one mother of a Black son to another, know that your son is looking down on you and so proud of the way that you're honoring him. All the best, and I'll see you soon.
I'm just so proud of you and all of Camp Kesem at University of Maryland for all of the work that you're doing this year, and just congrats and have fun.
Congratulations, Dawn, on your selection as a finalist for the Do Good Challenge. Best of luck.
Congratulations, Christina. It has been such a joy working with you as your coach this year. And I know that no matter what happens tonight, you and Repurpose Farm Plastics are going to go on to do great things.
Congratulations, team. You're doing Maryland proud with fantastic work, and we're blessed that you wear the Terrapin brand along the way.
It has been a distinct honor in my career to know you and work with you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Y-City team, on becoming a finalist for the Do Good Challenge contest.
Hey, Nick. Congrats to you, the rest of the Kesem team, and all the finalists for a great job on the Do Good Challenge. Way to go.
Congratulations on being a finalist, Anna.
We're so proud of you.
Your hard work has really paid off.
And your commitment to PSA is outstanding.
Go PSA!
Woo! Congratulations!
Congratulations to the Wise Cities team on being a finalist in the competition.
Dawn Collins, aka Mama Bear. Congratulations on being a finalist in the Do Good Challenge.
On behalf of all the alumni, I just really want to thank you guys for putting in that work and knowing that every single second of every single day that you guys are doing good.
Congratulations on being a finalist. I know that nothing is impossible for you. Go and reach for the stars. I love you.
I had the opportunity to watch you from a concept all the way through to an established organization. What a great victory this is for you tonight, and there's so many more victories coming your way.
I'm so happy for you. I know you and Kevin have spent a lot of time and energy. This is a great success. We're all so proud of you.
Congratulations, Wise Cities, on being a Do Good Challenge finalist. I am so proud of all of your efforts to address the issue of our vulnerable seniors.
Eggy wanted to say that everything that you're doing has been so freaking barktastic.
Wow, that video. I hope you can all feel the love. We asked friends and family for 10-second videos, and we got 15 minutes of content. So we had to cut it down. Don't worry, we'll share the full version with you all so you can continue to feel the love. It's my distinct pleasure to announce the Audience Choice Award winners. The finalist Audience Choice Award goes to Kesem at UMD. Congratulations. Now, earlier tonight, everyone text voted for their favorite showcase teams, and you saw the two top vote-getting teams do a lightning pitch on stage. You all voted again, and I'm pleased to share that the winner of the Showcase Audience Choice Award goes to Terrapin Think Tank. Congratulations, Terrapin Think Tank. And that means that the runner-up for the Showcase Audience Choice Award goes to Latina Pathways. And now I'd like to welcome my friend and fellow alum, Cedric Nwafor, to announce the winners on the project track.
Hi, everyone. A few years back, I was on this stage as well, running for this challenge. One thing that you wouldn't understand is the impact that it has on some of the people that we have in the audience today, seeing the impact that they are having in the world. It's inspiring them. When I started with Roots Africa in 2017, I always thought I want to win the Do Good Challenge every single year. I went for it every single year. The first year, I did not make it. Second year, I made it to the semifinals. Third year, I made it to the finals, and that's when we won. And that drive to win this leads to impact. It wasn't just wanting to win an award, it was changing the lives of farmers in Africa. And that's what's happening here today. So that ripple effect of this challenge is going out into the community. Another important aspect that we may miss here is that you're just seeing those that made it here. Some of them, their pitches did not make it here, but that impact is still tangible. It's still impactful in the lives of individuals out there. And imagine if we could capture all of that and tell you all what Do Good is doing. As you all know, Bob said it, this was not an easy decision for us to make, and I'm sure all of you are wondering, like, how did they make it? But we had to. So, without any further ado, in the third place is preventing sexual assault. Your team provided great data. You're building trust and raising awareness to an issue that is so complex because people would normally not own up to this as a challenge, but you are addressing it. For opportunities for your organization, we would love for you to share more on the impact and how you collect that impact. We would like for you to address the barrier to the stigma that comes with sexual assault because it's something that people will not own up to. And then keep up this effort of working with legislature to address sexual assault. Kudos to you all. And again, this was not an easy decision, but the first place winner goes to Kasem. We believe that your story is a story of resiliency. You have come to this challenge 3 different times, and you've kept on coming, and you've been delivering impact year after year after year. We could feel your impact. It was tangible. We could see the impact today, and you are student-led and student-run. That means your impact is impacting you as a student while changing lives out there. We could see resiliency in your story, and we know that there is nothing stopping you on this journey. Opportunities for you would be increasing your engagement with alumni, continuing the work with those that have been through your program, and looking at how do you sustain the student venture aspect of it, because students come and they graduate. How is that sustainable? And for the second place, it goes to the Second Lieutenant Richard Collins III Foundation. As you all must have guessed, this was not an easy decision for us, but we know that there is nothing stopping you. You have taken pain and turned it into purpose. We know that this is just one of those milestones for greater things to come. We know that there are opportunities. There's a high demand for what you are offering. You are addressing an issue, utilizing veterans to address an issue that exists even within the military and beyond. And there is no better way of doing it, and we believe that you will change the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't get an introduction? My name's Khalil Kettering. I am an alum. I did my master's here back in the covered wagon days a long time ago. And like Cedric, I also was in the Do Good Challenge, got 3rd place, which I know, seeing the talent increase every year, that I don't even think I'd be a semifinalist if I tried now. But what we've witnessed is not just presentations. We've had the opportunity to all play a role in stories. And stories are one of the most challenging yet powerful tools that we've had in the eons of human history to really connect with an audience. What you're saying, how you're saying is so critical. And the experience up here to tell a story is invaluable, because in every job you have, you're going to have to tell a story. Whether it's advertising, writing a report, giving a presentation, talking with a patient if you're in the healthcare industry. Being able to tell a story is so critical. So I really want to recognize everybody that came up here to tell the story, because it's really hard to do. And with that, from the venture track, in 3rd place, we have Wise Cities. This is really addressing a very important issue. There's a huge gap in the market, and we thought that your presentation was very well prepared. You've done a lot of research, really sophisticated analysis of what's needed, and so that really stood out. We thought that you could think a little bit more about looking into a sustainable business model, looking into investors, what that looks like for the long term, and also maybe thinking about what are some safeguards for bad actors in the marketplace when you're thinking about people's private information that gets shared. And also, what are the safeguards for inequity with the access to being able to get to the app, being able to get to a device and transport yourself to a device to be able to use it. In 1st place, we have Sustainably. Your well thought out financial model really resonated with us. We thought it was such a simple yet creative solution. There's a really clear market niche that you've looked into and discovered. You know who your audience is. You immediately answered those questions. And there's also a clear impact right away that can happen. Some of the questions we were thinking of is, this is still based on behavior change. Is there a way that you can design this to automatically shut off to prevent human error? And in the future, if you're pitching this to investors, you glossed over the $100 million component of it. That's the most important part. So spend some time really digging into that for your investors and judges in the future. And at 2nd place, we have Repurpose. This is such a critical issue, looking at the intersectionality of climate change, of human health, of food resiliency and agriculture in our globalizing world. And we really thought it's amazing that there's this cradle-to-cradle solution, taking something that's designed for a single use and turning it into a new use that's ongoing. And it really brings to light an issue that all of us in here are a part of when we go and buy our groceries every week. We encourage you to dig a little bit more into the supply chain and what might be those glitches on the demand side in the supply chain. There's some assumptions there on the supply chain and how that can lead to scaling this up a little bit more. What's really the market size that's out there? And also, how can this become a systems change approach? There's still the plastic that's going out there at the end of the day. So let's really think about how this can be a systems change and not just a Band-Aid over one issue, but lead to a larger wide change in the agricultural system. But amazing, really hard to decide, and thank you all for your impact.
All right, how about one more round of applause for all of our fabulous finalists and semifinalists. Woo! All right, my friends. So this concludes our 11th Do Good Challenge. I want to remind you to have all of you join us for Maryland Day on Saturday. Woo, that's right. Make your plans now. All right. And now I'll see you next year. And in between that time, go out and do more good. Thank you. Thank you for coming.